Today I am near Peru, California at Rancho Camulos. It is a museum that is privately owned, so I can't just walk in there, but the public can access the museum by going on one of the scheduled tours here. I'm going to take a docent-led tour and see what I can find out. Alright, I just took the docent-led tour. It was very cool, and I highly recommend coming here for it. There is so much information, I'm not sure I can cover it all here, but let me give you a few tidbits as I cover some of the areas here. Rancho Camulos is an active ranch. You can purchase all sorts of agricultural goods at the entrance where I started. That is the historic winery. You can see it's being held up. When the Northridge earthquake struck in 1994, there was major damage to the rancho here. It was then realized by the members of the family that owned the place here and others that restoration must take place to preserve the history. This is the other side of the winery. Rancho Camulos was used for raising cattle until the early 1860s when a drought occurred that bankrupted many of the cattlemen around here. From then on, it turned to agriculture where everything from olives and grapes for wine and brandy to oranges, chili peppers, apricots, figs, corn, and almonds to name a few of the things that were grown here. Here's where we get to the main structure of Rancho Camulos. It became a national landmark in the year 2000. You will notice they keep a beautiful garden here. That right there is the black walnut tree. Unfortunately, it died a few years back. It was easily over 150 years old and many pictures were taken of it. I just love these flowers. This place is so beautiful with that. Alright, here are some historic bells they've left here. This building right here, which you see, and you'll see more of as I go around it, is where the cooking took place and laundry in two separate rooms. As I move around here, this is the building I was talking about. You will see it's connected to the rest of the main living quarters here. Let me start by giving some of the history. This land used to be owned by the San Fernando Mission. In 1839, during the Mexican period in California history, Antonio de Valle was given this land due to his military service in Mexico. Antonio died only a few years later, so his sons inherited the property. Ignacio is the one that started to build most of the U-shaped adobe you are about to see. Just about all the rooms you do see do not have passageways on the insides of them. To get to another room, you have to come out of one and then go to the next room from the outside. Ignacio married a young woman named Isabel. When Ignacio died, Isabel inherited the property. Isabel was very religious, as you will see, and she was very knowledgeable in the medical field for that time. She was kind of like a doctor around here. Here I'm very close to the most famous shot of the south veranda of Rancho Camulos. In 1910, D.W. Griffith filmed his silent movie Ramona here. Mary Pickford was here as Ramona, while Alessandro attempts to talk to her here, only to be forced away. This marks a milestone for me since this will probably be the oldest movie location I'll ever get to. Part of the reason I'm here today is because this is known as the Home of Ramona. Oh, before I go on, there is the chapel and the water fountain. I will head over there in a few minutes. It does appear that much of her description of the rancho used in the novel matches Rancho Camulos. In fact, much of what is described would have taken place here on the south veranda. The front entrance would be right here. But in the story, Felipe would have been resting just up there, and some of the conversations take place up there too. The Padres' quarters would be just the door you see in the background. I was just showing you that above. The original wine cellar is down below. Those are the doors to that. Over here is a school that was created by the Rubel family. They purchased the ranch from the DeValles in the 1920s. The husband, August Rubel, is very interesting to me because he was wealthy, educated, and he served in both World War I and World War II. Sadly, he died when his ambulance he was driving hit a German landmine in Tunisia in 1943. It really is relaxing here. Okay, I just want to look at the fountain for a moment. The chapel is another important scene in the movie where Alessandro eyes Ramona and Felipe introduces them. I mentioned that Isabel was very religious. Since living here made it difficult to travel to Los Angeles for Mass or church services, her husband Ignacio agreed to build her this chapel. Local padres would come and have services here. Also, Isabel had daily prayers for anyone that was around here that wanted to attend them. After the Northridge quake, some thieves came here and stole some of the items that were in here. So I don't think everything you see is original. While they do not have church services here like in the old days, people still do get married here. I showed you the schoolhouse earlier that I noted was a later addition added on by the Rubel family. It was used in the 1930s for their children and those that worked on the ranch. It was used for a school until the 1940s. Later on it was used for special events. Now you can purchase merchandise here and watch the Ramona movie too. So we've come full circle at this point. Here is the tree again. Trees like this seem to grow up for many years and then just start expanding horizontally. They say it went out for about a half acre. So I hope you have enjoyed the Home of Ramona. One last thing. Since there are many trees and man-made things all around, I was not able to see the mountains very clearly on the premises. So I've come out to the highway just to show you the background mountains you can see in the movie. I just wanted to get that. I should note that while most of the movie was filmed on the ranch here, the scenes that take place near the end of the movie are on what is these days a private ranch outside Peru.